Crazy history facts you won't learn in school. History books tell us the basics, but they leave out the really weird stuff. Today, we are diving into the craziest, funniest, and most unbelievable moments from history. Some will make you laugh, some will make you shake your head, and some will make you wonder how these things actually happen. Let's start with a fact that sounds fake, but is 100% real. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the greatest military leaders in history, was once defeated by bunnies. Yes, rabbits. He had planned a rabbit hunt for himself and his men, so his staff collected hundreds of them. But when they let them loose, the rabbits didn't run away. Instead, they charged straight at Napoleon and his army. Why? Because they were domesticated and thought the soldiers were there to feed them. The great conqueror had to retreat from an army of fluffy invaders. Now, let's talk about a disaster caused by a broken toilet. In 1834, a worker in London tossed burning tally sticks into a furnace under the Houses of Parliament. The fire got out of control, and soon the entire building was in flames. A huge piece of history was destroyed all because of bad plumbing choices. Speaking of disasters, did you know ancient Rome used elephants in battle? But one Roman general, Scipio Africanus, figured out how to use them against the enemy. He and his men shouted at the elephants in their own language, scaring them so badly that they ran back and trampled their own army. Turns out, even elephants can be tricked in war. Now, let's talk about one of the worst dinner parties in history. The Roman Emperor Elagabalus was known for his wild parties, but one prank went way too far. He filled the ceiling with rose petals and then dropped so many on his guests that some of them actually suffocated. Imagine going to a fancy party and getting buried under flowers. Fast forward to World War II, and we have one of the strangest battle strategies ever. The Allies needed to trick the Nazis about where they would attack, so they created an entire fake army made of inflatable tanks and wooden planes. The Nazis fell for it, and the real attack was a success. Who knew balloons could help win a war? And speaking of strange inventions, did you know Thomas Edison created a talking doll? It was one of the first ever made, but there was a problem. It was terrifying. The doll had a tiny phonograph inside, but instead of sounding sweet, it made creepy noises that scared kids. Even Edison admitted it was a failure. Now, here's a war that started over a dessert. In 1838, a French pastry chef's bakery in Mexico was destroyed in a riot. He demanded money to fix it, but Mexico refused to pay. So France actually sent warships and started a conflict called the Pastry War. Yes, real battles were fought because of a ruined bakery. In the end, Mexico had to pay for the damage. History is full of moments that sound too strange to be true, but they actually happened. If you enjoyed these crazy facts, check out our next video for more unbelievable stories.